Hello people of PAX, I'm GameNerd. As you heard, I'm doing World Peace. So time will start when I hit go. So 3, 2, 1, and we're off. Hey. So I hope you've all been having a good time at PAX. So World Peace basically is, if you know anything about Mario Odyssey, there is 14 kingdoms, and in those kingdoms there is a completion for those kingdoms, which in this game is called World Peace, but they are not required. So World Peace is very similar to any %, but we just do those bosses and get them to World Peace. So we're starting here in Cap Kingdom. We just have some basic movement. Gotta collect Cappy before we can do anything. So we've got Cappy now. Heading off to Topper, just doing some basic movement. Not too much to do in Cap Kingdom. It's a very consistent kingdom in like all of the runs. Like whenever you see someone doing Cap Kingdom, they'll get like almost the same time every time. So here we have our first trick of the run. Oh, alright, I failed. So what was meant to happen there was I hit Cappy on the blocks, and after a bit, Cappy will shoot out to the frog and capture the frog instead of me having to go all the way there. But I did fail, so I had to go up to the frog and capture it. So yeah, we now have another trick here. It's called left side. We do this really cool trick jump to skip having to do that ramp. So here's our first boss fight of the run. His name is Topper, and he's just a bit of a pushover. You just gotta hit him a few times. Pretty easy. So yeah. That's the first kingdom of the game done. We're off to Cascade Kingdom. Oh, so yeah, in Cascade Kingdom, there's the requirement for World Peace is actually not the boss fight. Like, you would think it is the boss fight, but it's actually restoring the Odyssey, which we're gonna do. But we still have to fight the boss fight, as it is a required boss fight in one player. If this was 2-player though, you could see some weird stuff where they do some cool things to skip having to fight the Madame Brutal fight. So yeah. After this moon, there's actually 2 ways we can go. You can either go across the bridge and watch some cutscenes, or you can do the really cool thing and just jump on this really tiny platform on the wall that the devs did not intend you to jump on, but it is very tiny and you can jump up there. So I will be attempting that. And oh no! I got the jump, but then I messed it up. I got the hard bit of it though, so that would have been very cool if I got that. That was very unfortunate. So instead what we're going to do is we are going to capture the dino and use a hidden trampoline to jump up to Madame Brutal instead of having to go around in a 2D area that is the intended route. So yeah, a bit unfortunate, but what can you do? Not much. You just have to roll with the punches sometimes. But it is a pretty significant time save, that one, because you skip having to do the cutscene that I had to just go through. So it's about a 10-second time save in most speedruns. So yeah, here, just gotta hit Madame Brutal. She tries to throw her chain chomp at you, but we just say no. We stomp on the chain chomp, capture it, and throw it right back at her. We use her attacks against her. So yeah, this is our first multi-moon. So in this game, there are 3 types of moons. There is your regular moon, which just gives you 1 moon. They're scattered throughout the kingdoms. Then you have what is called the multi-moon. It is a type of story moon, but it gives you 3 moons. They usually give you these moons after boss fights. And then you also have just a regular story moon, which is same as a multi-moon, but just a single moon. So here we have another trick. It's called chest clip. It's a type of moon clip. Right there, you do some fancy backflip cap throw when you collect the moon, and that gives you what is called skew, and that basically pushes you through the wall, but the game normally pushes you back in bounds. But when you do get the skew while you do something like taking damage or collecting a moon, the game cancels the push back in bounds, and it just allows you to go through the wall. And we do that a few times in this run. That was the first of a few. So now we're going into Sand Kingdom. These last 2 kingdoms, Cap Cascade, they've pretty much been the exact same as what you do in any percent, because there's not much variety in those kingdoms. So this is the first kingdom where you'll actually see some differences in the route. So like in any percent, you'll go through the town, get a few moons, whereas here we just get 1 moon in the town and then rush the boss fights. And this is also our first kingdom where we have an instance of a sequence break. I'll explain it once we get to it. Bit sloppy movement there, but it's all right. Gotta grab this bird. Do not mess with the wildlife, kids. This is a video game. Do not replicate this. So we're going to use this icicle here to jump onto this pillar to grab another easy moon. Oh, unless I bonk. Just gotta go back up here. Easy fix. Not as bad as messing up the jumping cascade. So now here I'm going to do what is called a dram, which is basically where you leave out Cappy near a capture and then you go away to collect something else, which I do not think I did. Yeah, so basically what's meant to happen there, if you get it right, is you collect the moon, and then once you've grabbed the moon, you basically teleport into the capture. But I messed it up there, so I did not get it. So we've got to collect that checkpoint for later, because after we fight Harriet, we will be using that checkpoint. Okay, so here's where I was talking about having a sequence break. So normally you're meant to get 2 story moons and then go into the inverted pyramid. But here we're just gonna skip it. We're gonna clip through the wall, climb up. If I can get it. So that is actually a lot harder than it looks. So I was very lucky to get that as quick as I did. But yeah, that is our first sequence break of 2 in this run. So yeah, normally you're meant to get a moon on a tower. Oh, okay, I don't usually mess this one up. But yeah, so yeah, usually you're meant to climb a tower, grab a moon, go onto another island, collect some shards, and then you go through the entire pyramid. But what I did is called IP skip. So we not only skip the story moons, we also skip having to go through the pyramid. There is another version of this sequence break where instead of doing what I did and clipping through, you actually clip through the door at the bottom and you go through the entire pyramid. That is called IP clip, and what I did is called IP skip. So can get a bit confusing sometimes with terminology, but yeah, so that was really hard though. That was really good. I'm very happy that I got that as quick as I did. So yeah. Now we're going into Night Sand. We are doing the second half of the Sand Kingdom story, and this is the last bit of the Sand Kingdom story. So we gotta free the Toasterenans, which are the natives, from Nuclotech, which is the boss. But the story doesn't give us all the moons we need, so we do need to collect some extra moons along the way, which is what I'm doing here. So here's actually going to be another instance of what is a dram, and hopefully I can actually get this one, because this one is a lot cooler. You need 2 bullet bills for this next moon. You need 1 bullet bill to break the cage, which is what I'm doing here. But then you use the dram so that you can spawn this bullet bill, and then you just do some funky movement. It's pretty cool, as you just saw. Because yeah, you need 2 bullet bills, but it's slow to capture one, then wait for another. So instead of having to wait for both, we spawn one, capture, we leave out Cappy, spawn the second, capture the first one, break the cage, and then capture the second one. So yeah. Now we're going into the underground segment. Oh, that was unfortunate. But this is some pretty basic movement here. I just messed up though, so yeah, here's some actually cool movement. On ice, the physics are really weird. Normally when you roll and you cancel your roll, you get your momentum and you can choose where you take that momentum. But when you roll cancel on ice, you don't get to choose where your momentum goes. You just go in the direction that you throw Cappy. So yeah, we need to capture that bullet bill as well. As you saw, I did some fancy stuff in the air so that I didn't have to wait for the bullet bill to come to me. We're going to do that again in a second here. So instead of waiting for the bullet bill to spawn and letting it come to me, I am going to it. So that way, it's about like a 2 to 5 second time save. So yeah. Here we have our fourth boss of the game. He is called Nuclotech. He will try to punch you, but instead we just take control of his hands and punch him instead. So yeah, it's quite a funny fight. There's not really much you can do while waiting in between phases though, so like sometimes you will see speedrunners just throwing out Cappy, messing around. So yeah, it's not really much you can do to optimize this fight. Like the most you can do is, you see me going here, I'm going like right up to Nuclotech when his fists are like going forwards, because the way that works is if you're closer to Nuclotech, it will sense that his fists have passed you. So that phase will actually end earlier the closer you are to Nuclotech. So you actually want to stand pretty close to him. And that's Nuclotech beaten. We punched him in the face 3 times. And that is pretty much Sand Kingdom done. So yeah, pretty cool kingdom. It is one of my favorite kingdoms in World Peace, because it just has a lot of cool things to do in Sand Kingdom. So it's an overall good kingdom. Like, there are a few kingdoms where there's not as much to do or not as much variety in what you do. So it's a bit lame, but there's kingdoms like this where it makes it really worth it. So yeah, we're off to Lake Kingdom now, after Cappy stops telling us what I already know. So yeah, that's all 16 moons we need in Sand. So if there's any donations, this would probably be a good time.
Absolutely. We have quite a few donations coming in. We have $15 from OK Clo or Oclo with no comment. Just a reminder, we do have a number of incentives, so if you do have an incentive that you want to put your donation towards, make sure to leave it in the comments so that we can update that for you. We also have $2 from Tiny Hagrid that says, good luck, get those moons. And we have $40 from Freddie that says, this is really amazing, and I wish the runner good luck in the Mario Odyssey run. I look forward to seeing the high-flying tricks and jumps we'll be seeing. As for the three houses name, I'm adding Mel Wright.
Oh. Well, thank you for the good luck. I really need it. But yeah. So now we are in Lake Kingdom. This kingdom, usually in World Peace, you'll see a lot of people do a similar route to any percent. I'm not going to do that because there is a really cool trick that I can do with the route that I'm doing that I would like to show off. So I'm doing the hopefully cooler route and hopefully I can nail the trick. So yeah, it's actually right here. It is called Triple Jump Lake Clip. It's another instance of a moon clip, but we do it a bit differently. And I got it. So instead of spawning the moon out, because it's already spawned, we have to do the moon clip a bit differently. So that's why we do it with a triple jump. But it's all works the same, off the same principles. You jump, you throw Cappy, and you get skew that pushes you out of the wall, and you grab the moon one, you get the skew to cancel the game, pushing you back in bounds. So here we have the Lake Kingdom boss fight, which is Rango. Rango is honestly a bit of a pushover. He has the easiest fast strats in the game. As you see, you just backflip on him, ground pound, and then hit his head. It's a pretty easy boss fight to learn. So like, if you're learning to speedrun this game, this is actually a very good boss fight to learn because it is very easy and it teaches you basic mechanics of spacing out all your movements and delaying everything. But yeah, that's pretty much like Kingdom done. It's a pretty quick kingdom. So yeah, not really much to talk about in like other than the moon clip and the boss fight. We only have one multi-moon to do, and that we just got that. So yeah, next kingdom we're heading into is one of the most annoying kingdoms in the game because there's always a lot of hard movement in this kingdom, so Wooded Kingdom is always a bit annoying. And World Peace isn't much different. There's a few more moon clips, there's a few places where you can enter Deep Woods, which is basically the kingdom's personal hell. If you fall down pretty much like half the kingdom, you won't die and respawn at a checkpoint. You will fall into another section of the kingdom and you will have to find a nut and find a way out. So yeah, you have to hope that you don't fall into Deep Woods. Oh, I was meant to grab that bunny there, but I missed him. So we're doing a bit of fancy movement for 2 quick moons here. As you saw, like I grabbed a rock because if you know anything about the rock moons in this game, you will know they take forever to break open when you just kick them around. So what we do instead is we just hit it with another rock, which is what I did, and that breaks it instantly. And that's another moon clip here, where this one, it's not the same movement as we normally do in any percent. We do this to skip a gate that gives us a cutscene. So it's about a 5-second time save in World Peace. It's like just pretty simple movement, but that is where you have like the biggest risk of falling into Deep Woods. Because if you don't clip back in bounds, pretty much everywhere you will fall will be in Deep Woods. So yeah, right now we haven't done any of the story yet because there is 8 story moons in Wooded Kingdom, but we need 16 moons to leave Wooded Kingdom. So we need to get 8 additional moons along the way. this being our first story moon in Wood Kingdom, a bit of a mini boss. Well, not really. It's just you kill the piranha plant. So we have a bit more hard movement here. I'm going to do an instant roll cancel to get speed, which I will get a triple jump out of. Oh, I overshot. But this is all to... okay. I'm not going to be doing it, apparently. But what I was trying to do was to skip this flower road. Promptly named Flower Road Skip. all the like tricks and stuff in Mario Odyssey are very literally named. We have IP Skip, Flower Road Skip, and this is called Tower Skip. Normally in any percent you would go through the tower because there's 2 moons that you can get in the tower, but they're slower than all the rest of the moons we get in World Peace. So it's faster to just skip going through the tower entirely. So yeah, and we just get straight to Spew It, which is another one, as you can see, very easy to cheese. Normally you're not meant to be normally as a casual you hit Spew It's hat off and then you jump on his head, but he's meant to run around a lot. So it's meant to be hard to hit him on the head, but we knock his hat off and hit him on the head before he even gets a chance to move. So it's again just really easy to cheese. That's another good boss fight to learn fast strats for, because it's another one where it's really easy to learn. So yeah. Now we're in the second instance of Wooded Kingdom. It doesn't look much different, but it is technically nighttime in Wooded. So yeah, so we just need to get a few more moons before we can do the final story of Wooded Kingdom. There are 2 more story moons. There's 1 story moon that we need to collect to unlock the boss fight, and then we have the boss fight. So, but before that only equates to 4 moons, and as you can see, we still need 5 moons. So I'm just gonna go off here and grab an extra moon, just like this. So now it's all story moons. But this story moon is a bit annoying because the tanks are a bit of a janky capture with the camera controls, and this is a bit annoying because, as you saw there, I just got blocked by 2 bombs. 3 bombs! Okay. That part is very annoying. That's probably the most annoying part in Wooded Kingdom besides Flower Road Skip. So yeah, now this door will open and we go into Torque Drift. I was blanking on the name for a second. Again, this one isn't one that has many fast strats. There's actually no way to cheese this this boss fight. You just have to do the intended strats. The only thing you can do to speed it up is you actually glitch the capture, which gives it extra moving speed, but that's not an actual cheese for the boss fight. It's just a mechanic that we're abusing for the capture. So it's all intended strats for this boss fight, unfortunately. Nothing really cool. This boss fight, you just spawns out 3 of those. You got to knock them down with hitting it with the head of the uproot, and then once you knock those down, you knock the bottom of Torque Drift. So and then he shoots out these lasers which you have to avoid. Not that hard to avoid if you just take it slow. But yeah, we can preemptively stand underneath where they spawn, because these aren't random. These spawn in the same spot every time. So once you figure out this boss fight, it's again another really easy one. This game doesn't have too hard boss fights. The only hard one that is kind of easy to mess up is in the Bowser's Kingdom, which isn't that hard when you run all the categories, because you do it in every category and it's the same strats every time. So it's like kind of a pushover after a bit. But like casually, it's kind of hard. But yeah, that's Talk Drift done. We are done Wooded Kingdom. We are going on to... the next two kingdoms we have are actually just the same as any %. So, which is the main category I run in this game. So hopefully I don't mess it up too badly, because that'll be a bit embarrassing. Have about 1,000 hours or more in any %, so I would be a bit embarrassed if I mess those up. But yeah, so it is two of the shorter kingdoms though. So we'll be out of them in about 3 minutes. So yeah, off to Cloud Kingdom. So there's actually something funny. In Cloud Kingdom, there is a tiny bit of RNG. And in the SMO community, there is a bit of a running gag where whenever there's a bit of RNG, if you yell the word Stravmanip, it will give you the good RNG. It's nothing actually real like it is. There's this guy named Stravos96. I'm pretty sure he came up with that gag. You just gotta yell Stravmanip and you will get the good positioning for any RNG. So so if you hear me yell, when you hear me yell Stravmanip, you'll know why. So basically the RNG here is oh, okay, that was really cool actually. That's what we call cloud boost. The opening of that cloud platform will sometimes give you a boost. So here's where the RNG will happen. Say it. Oh no, hello. Stravmanip, and it worked. I got the good positioning. I messed up a bit. But as you can see, Stravmanip works. Definitely 100% of the time. Okay. I will not do fast hats, apparently. Usually, what you can do is you backflip and cap throw to get the hat, but I was messing it up. So, yeah. This phase is a bit easier because we actually take a bit of damage so that we don't get hit. Because it is a bit of a longer phase because there's more hats, so to ensure that we don't take damage by the purple hats, we take damage ourselves. So it just works out that once we get control back of Mario, that's when we need a backflip. So yeah, that's Cloud Kingdom done. Now we're off to Lost Kingdom, which is a pretty fun kingdom to watch, but it's very scary because any mistake you make in Lost Kingdom has a very high chance of death because there is just poison underneath you constantly. Oh, no, okay, I messed this up. So what I'm doing here is to skip a part of this kingdom where you get Cappy stolen. So there's a character in this kingdom called Klepto. If you stand in a certain area, he will steal your hat. But what we do is we just avoid that area, because that area is just in front of like where you would walk forwards when starting this kingdom. So it's there to make new people think that you need to go through Klepto, but you very easily don't. It's very easy to skip. And what we do, we actually need to walk into that area. So what we do is we just trigger Klepto. We confuse the game because we don't give him our hat, but we just walk up to him, and that makes the game think that he's triggered, and he won't steal Cappy. So yeah. Here you'll see me doing some fancy movement. There is a block there out of that 4 that has a moon, that one, but the Trapedal won't blow up that block normally. You have to do some fancy camera movement. And here, more fancy movement. Grab the Trapedal, take him along to the cage. That is another thing where it's a lot harder than it actually looks. It looks easy, but it is actually very precise. I bonked, so take death, but that is one of the best deaths you can take because we're done with Lost, and it just spawns you back at the Odyssey. So if there's anywhere to die in Lost Kingdom, it's there. So yeah, we're pretty much done with the first half of the game now. We just have one more kingdom of the first half, which most of you would know is Metro Kingdom. This is like a lot of people's favorite kingdoms, with good reason. It is a very cool kingdom. It's an actual city, like based off New York, and in the speedrun, it is pretty cool. There's a few cool tricks. There was a new trick discovered this year, which I will be attempting to do. It is called Giggler. Basically, in the Wiggler fight, you clip out of bounds, grab an extra moon. I'll go more in depth of it when we get there, so yeah. That was a bit sketchy. I got like no momentum there, so I had to do some safe movement. Yeah, so we jump on this awning. Never mind. Gotta jump on this awning, so normally you're meant to walk around this kingdom the long way, but this lets us take a very direct line to the city hall, which is where we need to go to get to the top of the tower to trigger the boss fight. So this route just lets us take a much more direct line. So we need this moon here. We usually in like any percent, you'd leave that to any percent, but this just works better in World Peace. So now we're going through City Hall. What I'm doing here is actually to skip a cycle for those platforms. That is a lot harder than it looks. Again, like a lot of this stuff kind of looks easy, but it's like it has a lot of hidden difficulty to it. So it looks like very basic movement, but it's just like, yeah, a lot of hidden difficulty. So yeah, we're through City Hall. We're off to fight the Wiggler. And this is where Giggler comes in. So I'll just concentrate for a second. And I got it! We're now out of bounds. So what we do here is we are abusing the fact that the Wiggler has some time in between phases. So instead of just waiting for him to run, we actually just go out of bounds to grab this moon because we just have enough time to do that in between phases. It is really handy. So it's about like a 6-second time save in 8%. I'm not too sure how much it saves in World Peace. So yeah. We have to be a bit careful there because if you capture the tank too quickly after coming through that pipe, the game will actually crash. This is sketchy. Okay, cool. I nearly messed up. Because what you have to do there is you have to try and hit all the bubbles on the Wiggler before it goes golden and starts running again. And we call that 2 cycle because you only go through 2 cycles of the fight. And if you miss it, it's called 3 cycle. Very, very, very simple. But yeah, it's not too hard of a thing to do. Again, you just need to kind of take it slow, but I was just a bit bad with how I hit the bubbles. So yeah, now we're doing the reverse of the other kingdoms. Instead of going from day to nighttime, we go from night to daytime. So yeah, so here we have a bit of interesting movement here. We do another dram. This is about a 2-second time save. We leave Cappy by that wire, come in here, shake. We'll capture the wire, and we need that wire anyways to go down here, so it saves having to go out. And another bit of interesting movement, this is called scoot clip. Clip into that cage and grab the moon. Normally what you're meant to do is you're meant to capture the guy and take control of the RC car and go into the cage with the RC car. So yeah. So now we're doing the Metro Kingdom story, which is basically starting a festival. So but before we do the festival, we need to collect 4 musicians and power up the city. So we have 5 story moons total left before we do the story. So yeah, we have the drummer. We need to go over here, get I think that's either the guitarist or the bassist. I'm not good with musicians, so if you're a music guy and I'm dumb and getting the 2 mixed around, don't be mad at me, please. I'm not a musician. But I think that is the bassist. So yeah, just need 2 more musicians now. Where there is one right at the start of the city, and there is one on a rooftop, just casually sitting on a public city rooftop for a random reason. I don't know why. I couldn't tell you why, but he just likes hanging out on rooftops. This guy's very chill. He's just in the park. One thing I love about the musicians is they make the most random noises. Like if you listen to the musicians, when you talk to them, they'll make noise like, yeah. It's just funny to listen. I love making fun of it when I'm doing runs. Like every time I talk to a musician when I'm running, you'll just hear me making those sounds because it's just very funny. Like Nintendo was like, just thought, okay, we have this human character. What sound should they make? And they go like, yeah. So oh, if I can line up. So here's our last musician, the trumpeter on a rooftop. So now, we're not quite at the festival yet. We still have to go through an underground power plant, go through the sewers, and power up the city so we have enough power to do the festival. Yep, okay, Pauline's just telling us that info. So now, we're uncovering this manhole to go into the thing. I'm going to attempt a really hard clip here. I probably won't get it, but I'll give it a few attempts. This clip basically just lets us skip having to go through the sewer. I'll give it 2 more attempts. Last attempt. 1 more, I don't want to end on a bonk. Okay, I didn't get it. So yeah, that's where we need a head. But we're doing this instead because I could not get the clip. That clip is a pretty big time save, but it is like one of the hardest and most inconsistent clips in the game. Like, out of all the runs, it's just so annoying. Yeah, now, this is a bit harder than the Wicked Kingdom story because instead of having to kill 1 giant piranha plant, we have to kill 2. It's very hard. They really amped up the difficulty for that one. So yeah, now just got to hit that big red button. Contrary to what all the cartoon shows will tell you, this big red button is not a bad button. So yeah, we're going to hit it. Do some fancy movement up there as well. So yeah, so now this is where the festival happens. A lot of you might know this festival. It has one of the best songs in this game. It is a very good song. It is not my favorite song. I have a different favorite song that is in this run. But yeah, if you're in the crowd and if you want to dance, just stand up, just have a jam out to the festival. Like, it is a very good song. So we just gotta run through the festival. It is pretty basic movement again. It's 2D area, not much you can do. So yeah, just gotta run through. Collect the coins as we go. So yeah, if there's any more donations now, this is probably a really good time as well.
Absolutely. We do have a couple of donations that have come through. So we have $10 from Duckable that says, Game Nerd, you will do great. Keep it going. So happy to see you bring peace to the world. Shout out to the Plays Odyssey.
Yeah. Hello,
We also have $15 from Marcy B that says, Myla has already gone through enough. Leave her alone. And just a reminder that we do have a number of incentives throughout the entirety of the event. So if you donate, please feel free to leave a comment on what you would like to put your donation towards as the incentive, and we will update that for you so that you can see whatever you want to see happen.
Hey. Thank you for that. Hello, Duckable. So yeah, we're done with the festival. That's it. We've partied in the city, have a lot of fun, and that's all for Metro Kingdom now. So Metro Kingdom is like sort of the unofficial, official halfway point of the run because it works out very funny. Like, Metro Kingdom is the 7th kingdom of 14 kingdoms, and in the runs, in like a lot of the like World Peace and Any Percent, it is like halfway in the time. Like in Any Percent, 1 hour long. Metro Kingdom, you finish Metro Kingdom at 30 minutes. You have 30 minutes left of the run. It's similar with World Peace. It's a very cool thing that just worked out. So yeah. So yeah, now we are off to Snow Kingdom. Bit chilly, gonna be a bit chilly here, so gonna try to get through this one fast so we don't get frostbite. But yeah, this is one of my favorite kingdoms. It's not a lot of people's favorite kingdom because, and it's actually the same reason. There is a mini game in here called Bound Ball that is required for peace. That is actually the objective for this kingdom, is do the Bound Ball race. And I really like the Bound Ball race because I'm pretty good at it. But a lot of people find it boring, which is kind of valid, but I enjoy doing it. I've grinded it a bit. So yeah. But before that, we need to grab a few moons. And before, when I said there's 2 instances of a sequence break, Snow Kingdom is this second instance. Normally you go through 4 rooms and collect 4 story moons, and that opens up the barrier to get to the Bound Ball race. But here, we are going to be doing a moon clip and just going down there anyways. Oh. I think I messed it up, so... But that's all right. There is a backup to that. Oh, if I can make the jump. All right, bit of a not expected this. Okay, so this very. I'm just gonna. Okay, there we go. So normally you collect 4 moons, open up the barrier to get down here. But we just clip through, get there anyways, and skip straight to the world peace. So there's another tradition in Mario Odyssey's live streaming in speedrunning where there's any race, there is an in-game timer that tells you your exact time down to 2 decimal points, 4 milliseconds. And if you're in a live stream chat, you try to guess that exact time. So if you're in the AusSpeedruns Twitch chat, drop a guess that is down to the exact millisecond. A good guess is around 50 seconds to 54 seconds. And if you get it down to the exact millisecond, I will gift you a sub to the AusSpeedruns Twitch account. So if you're in the live Twitch chat, try give a guess. If you get it, I'll gift you a sub. Yeah, good guesses are around 54 seconds for a high and 50 seconds if I do really good. Yeah, just basic movement. You gotta learn with this race, there's a lot of nuance to it. Where it's like, you can just spam the biggest jump possible, and that will get you a decent time, but the trick to getting a good time in this race is knowing what height of a jump to do. So like here, that I do the biggest jump possible. So you got to really work on the spacing. So yeah, this is lap 3. This is looking like a 52, 51. 51.79. If there were any 51.79s, I'll look through the VOD after my run, and if you guess 51, if you guess, I've already forgotten, 51.79, if you guess that, I will gift you a sub to the AusSpeedruns Twitch. So yeah, that's the story done for Snow Kingdom, but we don't quite have enough moons to progress on yet because we did skip a lot of the story, so we need 4 moons now. We still need 4 moons, and we will just get them on the overworld. We have a timer challenge, we have a rabbit, and we have Lakitu, and then we have Snowdram, which you might think it's a capture warp because it has the name Dram, but for some dumb reason, the trick jumping community saw that trick jump that we're going to do and decided to call it Snowdram. Like, it has nothing to do with capture warps, it has nothing to do with Dram55, which is the person who came up with the concept of capture warping. So it's like, there's no real reason why it's called Snowdram. So yeah, we gotta do some fishing with Lakitu here. These fishes are another bit of RNG. You can see they bite. The way you get this fish is you leave the hook in the water, you go up to the big fish, and you have to wait for it to bite. But there are 2 types of bites that it can do. One where it will give you a small vibration on the controller, and another where it gives you a big vibration. Okay, this is Snowdram. I'm gonna concentrate for this. And I got it. That's a pretty difficult trick jump. So yeah, normally the way you're meant to get that moon is going through that painting, but as you might have seen, it's deactivated right now, so you can't get there from the other kingdom. So instead, we just saw that and was like, yeah, we can make that jump. And as you just saw, we do. So yeah. Now that's Snow Kingdom done, we're off to Seaside Kingdom, where we are fighting a boss fight where I can't actually pronounce the full boss fight name because it is just stupidly long, and they decided to give like really hard words, like really weird words in the name. So it's like Brigadier Molluscure Dolphine of Bablaine III, or something like that. It's just really long, really annoying, really hard to memorize. So we just call him Mollusk, or I prefer calling him Mozzie because that's just a much cooler name. Because I just take Mollusk and it's like, yeah, there's M and an S, so yeah, Mozzie. I just call him Mozzie. So yeah. So here, the requirements for World Peace and Seaside Kingdom is you go around, there's 4 big buttons here. You get the story moon by the button, and the barrier by the button will break. So yeah, we just kind of go in a circle in this kingdom. We just do a lap around the kingdom, getting the buttons, as you see right here. To get this one, that's actually a bit of a skip as well. A more intended skip because the Gushins are an intended part. But usually you're meant to go through a cave, then you go out a pipe and the pipe spawns you here. But we just take the Gushin. Like, we abuse the Gushin. So yeah, easy way to get up here. Now we'll take the Gushin. We still need 2 more, we need 2 more moons that aren't, no, 3 more moons that aren't story moons. So we'll get 2 here, we'll go down here, capture the fish, get this moon under a dangerous ceiling, and then there will be a Dory to the left here. We will get a moon underneath Dory, so Bonjour Dory, that is, or Mercy Dory. The other one's Bonjour. So yeah, here, you need this one, you see there's lava here. we use the Gushin to clear the lava. Kind of mean to the Gushin. We just use its water and kill the Gushin in the lava. So a bit mean. Kids, do not abuse animals in the wildlife. This is a speed run. I am allowed to do this in game. So don't go throwing squids in lava. I'm sure the squids will not appreciate it. Oh, that cutscene is a bit annoying because, as you saw there, it can sometimes take a second to activate and you just get a pause instead of skipping it. So it's a bit annoying, but you just gotta deal with it. So here's our third and final normal moon that we need. The rest will be story moons. So it's just there. So now this is the last story moon we need before we fight Molluscule, Lancer, Defame, Bloblain, whatever it is. I'm sure one of my friends, I know which one, is probably typing it in the AusSpeedruns Twitch chat right now because he just knows. So now we gotta capture the Gushin to fight the king of this kingdom. So how this works is you get a Gushin and you spray water on his head, just like that. There is a few manips you can do to make it so he moves in a specific way. So like right here, he ends there. And then you gotta move here because if you go to the next spot too quick, he will just get stuck behind the lighthouse and then you just have to go back to where I went anyways. So now we're heading off to the next hit point, where we will hit his head again. And then for the next hit, we won't actually spray him the entire time. We will spray him a bit to stun him, and then we will uncapture the Gushin. Oh, this isn't good. So stun him and then ground pound him as Mario. You can do that for all three phases, but it's slower if you do it for phase 1 and 2 because you have to keep the Gushin for phase 1 and 2. So yeah, it's not faster to pound his head until phase 3. Actually, you know what? You actually can't do it on phase 1 because there's lava on his head. So if you try to do it on phase 1, you'll just take damage. So yeah, you can do it on phase 2 and 3, but it's not faster to do it on phase 2. Yeah, very simple kingdom, Seaside. Just going in a circle, then fighting the boss. So yeah. Now we're off to my personal favorite kingdom in the game, casually, Luncheon Kingdom. It is a very nice aesthetic. It's a very unique theme for a Mario game. Like, you don't see many food kingdoms or food levels in Mario games. And it's pink. It's a very nice aesthetic. It's very nice to look at. So yeah. And it has some pretty cool movement. But it is similar to any percent in some places, but for the most part, it is pretty unique. The boss fight is pretty simple as well. Like, a lot of the boss fights in this game aren't that hard speedrunning. They are kind of boring in a speedrun sense, but all the other movement kind of makes up for it for this category. And like the fights that are interesting really make up for it. And like, Nintendo didn't really intend for this to be speedrun. Like, they kind of are against speedrunning. But yeah, so here we do this jump up to this moon, grab this quick moon. We're gonna grab 2 moons before we go into the Spewit refight. Spewit did not have enough of us in Wood Kingdom. He decided to have... Oh, that is not what I wanted, but it's all right. So yeah, we will be fighting Spewit, but instead of a circle arena, we are now in a square arena. Like, usually usually the refights have a distinctive difference to them. But the Spew It refight doesn't actually... I honestly don't know what the difference is with the Spew It refight other than we're in a rectangle arena rather than a circle arena. Like, Topper, he gets more hats. Rango, he gets a second hat and he's on ice. Harriet, she gets more bombs. Spew It, I literally could not tell you what the difference is. Like, so yeah, it's a pretty boring refight. Just same as Wooded. So yeah. Here we're, instead of grabbing some wait, no, we're gonna grab 2 moons before we get to the next one. I forgot about them. Don't want to forget about them. So yeah, we're gonna go through town to get to our next few moons. Gotta do some kind of weird movement on these pillars to grab this moon. And then we will grab a moon that's right here in this crate here. We will break that, grab that, and then we will capture, after this, we will capture a Hammer Bro to break some cheese and pull a lever that will open that cage to unlock the story mode. Oh, that is not what I want. Oh, okay, different Hammer Bro. I killed the Hammer Bro. Oh, Spiny. There we go. Yeah, so that's the lever we need to pull. That breaks open that cage. We get that story moon. And yeah, so pretty basic right now. So here we'll have actually some, I think this next movement is pretty neat. Like you use some in between cutscenes and moon grab to set up some stuff, to set up some movement, and you triple jump over that mountain to get another moon. Oh, that lava bubble always gets me. So here's what I was saying: you light the lantern, and in between the moon spawning and you grabbing the moon, you throw out Cappy. Do this triple jump to get over the mountain. Get over the mountain, please, Mario. Here's a bit of difficult movement. This mountain is a bit jank in terms of like the modeling of it. So it's like it's very easy to fall down on there. So now we're capturing this meat. Mario literally captured. It's a bit freaky when you think about it. Like he literally captured like a dead animal. Like that's like a cow or something. So it's like Mario's literally capturing that, and it's a bit weird when you think about it like that. So yeah. So yeah, now we just have 2 more bits of story to do in Luncheon. We gotta go through a volcano to unlock the boss fight. But we still need a few more moons before we get there. So we're gonna do this, if I wanna not fail. So yeah, we're doing this timer challenge, quick moon, just climb here. It's an easy moon, so quick enough. Then we go here. Normally you would jump on the Scarecrow to get Cappy back, but we don't need him. We can just make that jump without him. It's Cappy's fault that he's lagging behind. Roll across here. That's another instance where it's a lot harder than it looks, because a lot of these mountains have weird modeling, so it's like when you're rolling across them, you can just get a roll boost in any which direction. Like you could be trying to roll just straight forward, and you just hit a janky bit of collision, and all of a sudden you're off to the left. So get that moon that's tucked away there. That is the last regular moon we need for Luncheon Kingdom. It is all story now. Just gotta light this lantern to get this moon. And yeah, so now we're just gonna climb up the volcano, grab a Potable, and activate the fight. The bird you saw before that was carrying the meat, that is the boss fight. That is the boss that we have to do. So we'll just be climbing up here, making our way to him. Oh, Cappy wants to not be annoying and actively try to prevent me from winning. Here's a cool bit of thing. You can just roll up that wall. It is like that wall is angled at the perfect like angle to where you can just do a ground pound roll and just make it right up. I like that. It's really cool to show. It's not really that quick, but it's not really that much slower, so I like to show it off. So right now, fast struts for this fight is normally what you do casually is you just run around, wait for this boss to shoot the lava platforms. But here we just hit him in his private spot, in his no-no area. Mario's kind of being like really abusive to animals in this run. I'm just realizing that. Like he throws the animals in lava. He like fights against the birds. He hits the birds in its no-no area. Like he's very mean. Like it makes you question if we're really the hero here. Like we are saving Peach from Bowser, but it's like, what are we doing in that time? Like, who's here to stop Mario? Like Mario's here to stop Bowser, but no one can really stop Mario. Like he's just hiding behind the fact that he's saving the princess. Yeah, that is Luncheon Kingdom done, and that is actually the last kingdom where the story isn't forced onto you. So like the last 3 kingdoms that we have are just the same as my main run, any percent, because in a casual playthrough there is no way to skip the story in Ruin Kingdom, Bowser's Kingdom, or Moon Kingdom, because they are required. They force it onto you. They did a lot better forcing the story onto you in those kingdoms than they did in the other kingdoms. So yeah, here in Ruin, Ruin is purely a boss fight kingdom, so it's like there's not really much you can do to skip it anyways. Yeah, that being said, if there's any more donations, here's a good time.
We do indeed have some more donations. We have $51.79 to mirror the Bound Ball game from Jason Plays. So saying that here is a donation of the Bound Ball time. Good luck, gamer. And just want to remind everyone that we are AusSpeedruns and we are here raising money for a game on cancer. You can donate via our website, or there's a QR code as well if you're here in person that you can use at the front. All of it goes to early career cancer researchers. It's a great cause, and it helps because we get to also read out your little comments as well. Make sure to put them towards some of our incentives. We've got lots of them.
Yeah, thank you. So, as you see here, not really much you can do in between phases for this fight. You just kind of have to wait. So, everyone has their own like sort of things they do in between phases. I have 2 things I do. So, if you do the right stuff, you can do a triple jump backwards. Or you also have to be careful of your health. So, just like that, you can do a triple jump backwards. You have to try not to die when you're doing it, because it is a very big time loss if you die. So, and you do damage boost so that you're on the dragon as soon as you can do the stuff. So, as I'm on 2 health here, I've used all my hearts. So I have to be careful that I don't take any more damage. Because I can get away with being on 2 health here, but if I took damage and I was on 1 health, it would be very scary. So just gotta take the stakes out and hit him on the forehead. Yet another instance of Mario abusing the wildlife. So, like, just ground pounding on the dragon's weak spot. Like, he literally, like, as you see here, like, when you revisit Ruin Kingdom. Like, Mario beat up the boss fight, but the boss so badly that the boss can't even move. Like, the boss is still just sitting there when you revisit the kingdom. So it's like, I don't know if Mario's really the hero in this. Like, it's called World Peace, but like, I don't know. Like, this is literally the dragon's domain as well, so I don't know. Yeah. So now we are off to the second last kingdom of the run, which is Bowser's Kingdom. There is a few cool things in Bowser's Kingdom with the story. Like, there's a few bits of cool movement. Like, if you remember, there's a shards. There's a bit where you collect shards to get a story moon, and the movement for that is actually really cool. It's a bit hard and a bit annoying, but it is very cool when it goes right. So I'll attempt to do that. But before we do that, we need to kill an ogre to get another story moon. So yeah, we've got to get there first. Take these wires, triple jump up here, do that, take another wire, and there's the ogre. Gotta jump over there, roll past him, and hit him on his head. Oops. Alright, yeah, that's basically a story moon. And the reason story moons are required in this kingdom, if you've seen a minimum captures run, you might know that it is possible to skip each island. But the reason we can't do that to skip the story is to leave the kingdom, you need to beat the final boss of this kingdom. Otherwise, you literally cannot leave the kingdom. And if you don't get the story moons in order, the next story moon won't be available. So here's the shards. Oh, all right, already not going right, but that's not too bad. Oh. So we're doing this jump, get that shard, do this really hard jump to get this shard up here, and then usually, oh, okay, I messed up a bit. What you're meant to do is you're meant to use that bird to poke that bomb into that crate. But if I got what I was trying to go for, I would have been able to just set up the bird so it poked the bomb without me even capturing the bird. So, but I messed it up a bit, so I had to capture the bird. It's a tiny bit of time loss, but it's all right, we take those. In the grand scheme of things, doesn't really matter too much. So, here we have another dram here. Grab this moon, leave Cappy by the wire that we're going to be taking, capture the wire, and take the wire. And so now we're coming up to two bosses. These are the Harriet refight and Topper refight. We will be doing the Harriet refight. There is actually a really cool strat here that I'll be doing. I messed it up. If I got it right, I'll attempt it again, but when you get it right, it basically leaves the bomb floating mid-air. I messed it up. That's all right. Yeah, if you get it right, you can just leave the bombs floating mid-air, so that way you don't need to wait for, oh, okay. I'm messing up. Yeah, usually what happens is, because you leave a bomb floating mid-air, you can just hit that bomb back at Harriet the next phase, and you skip having to wait for her to throw out another bomb. But I messed it up, so yeah. Yeah, Topper is really similar to what it was in Cap Kingdom, just he has a few extra phases and a few more hats. Just got to dive into him and jump on him. Basically just trigger him, and yeah, that's the Topper fight done. Really, really simple to do. You can just dive onto him, so that is the first half of this kingdom done. Now we just need one more regular moon and the multi-moon that the boss fight will get. And this boss fight is my favorite boss fight in the entire game because it just has so much depth to it, because casually you use the Pokio, hit the bombs onto the legs, and then when the mech falls, you jump onto it, hit the bubbles, rinse and repeat. I'll go more, I'll just wait until we get there. So here, this is our last regular moon. Now we just need to climb up to the mech, and we will defeat the mech. So just gotta jump across here, and make sure not to die because there is a endless pit underneath us, so it would not be good if I died there. Yeah. Just climbing up here with the Pokio, making our way to the mech fight. So yeah, take this way up to the mech fight. So I will be doing the fastest method of beating this fight, which is called birdless, because you don't take the bird. Oh, there we go. Already messing up. Just go. Okay, that was a bit slow, but I made it up. I messed up at the start and that threw me up a bit, but yeah, you can just... Oh, that is unfortunate. I don't know why that happened, but I just did not get my cap bounce back. I was not meant to fall down. Usually what happens is you get a cap bounce and you jump back on. But it is a quick fix. You just grab the bird and climb back up. So that's what you're meant to do. You get a cap bounce, jump back up. It's only about like a 20-second time loss, I think. So not the best thing, but for this it's not too bad. So here I'm going to do a really cool thing here. I'm going to do what's called targeted flight. I'm going to use the launch here. That was not good. Okay, I messed it up. I got an input drop and it messed me up. What was meant to happen was I dive onto the spew it bubble and I hit spew it, but I messed him up. Yeah, but I can just do that. I didn't need the bird that time because spew it was right there, so easy fixes. That's the mech done. We only have one more boss fight in this run, and that is Bowser in Moon Kingdom. So, which is kind of underwhelming as the final boss because Moon Kingdom Bowser is really similar to Cloud Kingdom. So they really missed an opportunity there. Kind of underwhelming, but yeah. But honestly, I think it's a bit forgivable because the ending sequence to this game is really cool. So yeah, going into the final kingdom here. Yeah. It's a really cool kingdom, Moon Kingdom in the speedruns. It's a bit hard to get used to because in Moon Kingdom it's lower gravity, so you really have to think about your movements again because it's not a jump will take you a lot further than it would in any other kingdom. So yeah, you really have to think about everything. But Moon Kingdom is also home to the biggest skip in all of speedrunning. It is a 2.5 minute time save-ish because it is Moon Cave skip. It's about 2.5 minutes, but it's like really like 4 minutes because it's 2.5 minutes because world record time for going through Moon Cave is about 2.5 minutes, but it's really a time save for however long it would have taken you to go through Moon Cave. So it's like really like a 4-minute time save because most people don't know how to do Moon Cave fast. So yeah, just gotta get to it. My momentum wasn't as good as I thought. Had to do a cap bounce here. But yeah, we're just gonna be rolling. That's a good showcase of why moon gravity is so good. Like I didn't have to jump those like jumps right there. I could just do a roll boost, and the roll boost gives you like a bit of distance, and you can just jump over things. But yeah, here is moon cave skip. I'm attempting to do it with one wall jump, which I just did. Most people you see will do it with 2 wall jumps, but if you remove one of the wall jumps, it saves about a second or 2. So yeah, so I just did 1 wall jump. It's a bit finicky sometimes because the potential for bonking is a lot higher because you're diving right into the wall, and there's a certain spot that will not give you a bonk. But yeah, here's the last boss fight of the game, Bowser himself. As you can see, it's the same sort of principle as Cloud Kingdom, except there's a few extra phases. So Cloud Kingdom, the stuff added in Moon Kingdom is, in Cloud Kingdom he didn't have this attack in between phases, he didn't have this like fire whipping thing, so you just kind of have to avoid that. But you still do fast hats, so hopefully I don't mess them up here. Yeah. And also in Cloud Kingdom, he only does this tail whip on the last phase, whereas in Moon Kingdom, he does them on every single phase. So, but that's pretty much the only differences in Moon Kingdom Bowser. Other than that, you just have to wait. It's a lot of waiting. Same thing as in Ruin Kingdom, people just muck around here. Like, I like to do this spam crouch. That just looks funny. Again, we're damage boosting so that we don't take damage too close to needing the hat. And that's pretty much Bowser done. We just need to hit him 1 more, or 2 more times. Oh, I forgot how many times he swiped his tail. That was nearly bad. Yeah, that's Bowser's done. We're just onto the escape sequence, which has one trick that is really hard that I will be attempting. It is called 2DSS, which is short for either 2D skip or 2D section skip. I prefer thinking it's 2D section skip because 2D skip is really goofy. But yeah, it's coming up right here. So basically what it is you jump on these tiny platforms outside the 2D section, and it's very precise, so I probably won't hit it, but I will be attempting it. So, oh, that was a failed attempt. I would like it if I could at least get to the second platform. Okay. Nah, we're just going through the 2D section. It's all right. That trick is usually the best of the best players do that. Like, I am in the top 50 of players for any percent, and as you can see, I didn't even come close to hitting it. Like, there's 7 jumps in it, and I didn't even get the second jump. So it's like, the top 20 players, I would say, actually go for it. Yeah, here is the last room of the run. We just got to knock down those 4 pillars and then swipe the block in the middle and then take the wire to freedom. And that's it. So yeah, just stop. Yeah, funnily enough, you wouldn't think it, but this room is actually on a cycle. Like, it is a lot better of a cycle than most places, because the cycle for this room is, you see all those falling blocks, they're on a cycle. So it's like, if you do not want to die there, that would be very unfortunate if I died there. Okay, but yeah, that's it. So just got to take the wire. Timing ends once you see Bowser shoot out of the wire. So I'll call time. So right here in a few seconds. And time. What was that? 119.13. Thank you. Thank you for watching. I really enjoyed that. I hope you all did as well. And I hope you all enjoy the rest of your time at PAX.
Okay, thank you. Oh, thank you very much. We do have a Super Mario Bros. 3 speedrun with all fortresses coming up shortly. We're going to be taking a quick break to do changeover, but we will be with you shortly. This also marks about the end of my host shift, so I have been Shokochi hosting for you, and upcoming next we have Grimo on the host desk, so please make them feel welcome.
Hello everyone and welcome back to AusSpeedruns at PAX. My name is Grimo and I'll be taking you through the next little section for the few runs that we have coming up. I've just got the thumbs up from our crew and runner as well to let us know that we're all good to go. So now let's pass it off to Blaze and Beza with our All Fortresses run of Super Mario Bros. 3.